Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. With MNC Properties, property sales, rentals, and management is a walk in the park. We believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 to 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We offer flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs, plus litigation-free lands in vibrant and upscale communities that presents the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 0302 551 917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Welcome to today's edition. Welcome back to Titans and Trailblazers. Today we have my friend Grace Edusei in the studio. This is somebody who transitioned from a built environment professional and is today a leadership trainer, consultant, coach. Grace, welcome to the show and tell us about yourself. Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
This is great to be here.
Yes, please.
So a bit about myself. Well, as you know, I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, and my background is in building technology and interior design, and I did all that for almost 30 years.
Correct.
And so in recent times, well, like 5-6 years ago, I pivoted into leadership coaching and training.
Correct.
And what made me do that was because, as you know, I'm also a pastor.
Correct.
And as a pastor, you're leading, you're influencing, and all that. And the reason I actually went into it was because I wanted to be a better pastor.
Okay.
As
Okay.
a lay
Fantastic.
pastor.
Okay.
And I found the matter of leadership. And,
Okay.
they say the rest is history. So I'm enjoying what I do and doing what I love.
Absolutely. So primary school, secondary school, was that in Nigeria and Ghana?
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
all right. So I'm sure you are aware that we had a stupendous 40th birthday party that has not been seen in Africa for the last, 30, 40 years. And what do you think about the decor and give your interior decor background? Did you see any photos or videos of this famous 40th birthday party?
I'm an interior designer. I'm not an event planner.
Okay, okay, all right.
I do interior building and interior design.
Okay.
So interior design consultant.
Okay.
So looking at the building, the use of the buildings.
Okay.
To respect to what's how it's designed for its user optimal use.
Okay.
You know, and all that. So.
Okay, so let's pivot then into your leadership journey. So can you share a pivotal moment in your leadership journey that defined or shaped your approach to mentoring women leaders in particular, women leaders?
I think for me, what's the pivotal moment for me was when I, as somebody who was also coming up earlier in my career, was when I realized that I didn't really have good mentorship at that time. But it wasn't because there was lack of it, but because I just didn't know how to leverage mentorship. There are people around me, but I just didn't have the confidence or the knowledge of how to approach mentors or would-be mentors. So it was just that, that gap. I didn't have that, and but eventually, as I came to get trained and all that in leadership, I realized that it was so important, and I started to get some strategies on how to do that.
Okay.
Because there's so many people around us,
Okay.
both peers, people are higher than us, all around, and so we're in a mentorship environment. So we just need to know how to leverage that, what we have.
Okay.
So when I found that, I thought, oh, well, that's great. And I decided that, well, I need to do this also. So what I find also do for other women as well. So that's why I'm really loving this, because women are actually always embracing mentorship, you know.
Okay.
Like you guys.
Interesting. So we have a female vice president. In the past few days, another African country had a female president who has also appointed a female vice president. So it will seem as if the paradigm is shifting a bit. But you mentioned the fact that at a point you didn't have the confidence, and it's safe to say that even today, many aspiring female leaders have a few self-doubt issues, have a few societal limitations. So how did you personally break through these, and what advice will you give to women who are struggling with confidence? What 2 or 3 things will you say to them?
Well, like I've alluded to earlier, I have had my fair share of confidence issues and all that. I'll say that women need to definitely be more assertive, and speak up and step up, right, in leadership. And they need to leverage their influence, leverage what they have. And I think that's definitely part of the key to become a person of influence. And learn to connect, not just communicate. I read a book some time ago. It's actually by John C. Maxwell, my trainer.
Yes.
It says, everyone communicates, but few connect. So we tend to say, oh, hi, bye, but the connection is not there.
Absolutely.
And what we need to do as women is to connect, learn to connect on common ground.
Correct.
And be very intentional about it. Correct. And not always hold back. So we always tend to I'm not there yet, and there's so many things stacked against me. The world is stacked against me. Yes, there are all those stacks, but we can overcome them if we're very intentional. We just continue to push along.
Okay, so intentionality matters.
Absolutely.
But that said, what key leadership qualities must women also cultivate to stay relevant? Because the world shifts rapidly. It's shifting digitally. It's shifting in terms of sustainability matters. Shift. I mean, nothing is static. So in order to stay relevant, what 4 or 5 key leadership qualities are absolutely essential for the contemporary woman operating in Africa today?
Absolutely. I think that for me, top 3 I probably say is to be agility.
Agility, okay.
Agility, definitely the ability to pivot in the face of changing circumstances, but at the same time focusing on your core values and your goals. That's very important, right? And of course, the second would be resilience. Resilience we've heard about the word resilience all the time. And women are very resilient naturally, right? But we need to...
They juggle like 200 things.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But we need to then take that into the boardroom.
Indeed.
Into everywhere we go.
Correct.
So we're juggling all the balls, but we don't need to let things drop, right? So you imagine a juggler, right? And then it goes up and it goes down. And I think that we can continue to be strong in the face of adversity or change and all that. So women, I think, also need to be able to manage change. We have about change management a lot when it comes to management and training. I think that sometimes women, we don't always adapt. As much as we are resilient, but we are not always great at making changes because we love to be in our comfort zone.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So on this note of agility, resilience, adaptability, and becoming better change managers, we'll go on a short break and come back to you very soon. Stay tuned. This is Titans and Trailblazers.
M&C Group is a leading investment holding company with expertise in minerals and food commodity trading, precious minerals refinery, real estate development, and logistics and energy. With individually registered companies, our headquarters is located in Accra, Ghana, with operational offices in Dubai, UAE, Hong Kong and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia in the USA, and Milan Milan, Italy. We connect business markets and drive growth. Trust us to maximize value in every deal. Call us on 0302 551 917 or 0302 551 918 or send us an email mncgroup@mncgroupgh.com. MNC Group, totally reliant.
Welcome back to Titans and Trailblazers. And you know, sometimes when you use the word trailblazer, and then you have to wonder, are you talking to a trailblazer? Tonight, there's no equivocation on that matter. I'll tell you why. I've been looking at various versions of an article I want to read to you. The one I like the most is from a website called Pulse. The title is that it's from Advocacy to Action. Dr. Angela Dramna Abuaji wins MTN Heroes 2025. This is how the story was called. Dr. Angela, gender advocate and founder of the Ark Foundation, has been crowned the overall winner of the 7th season of the MTN Heroes of Change Awards. Ceremony took place Friday 30th, Labadi Beach, celebrating a decade-long tradition of honoring selfless individuals, creating positive change in Ghanaian communities. Her journey began in the early 2000s, where she left a flourishing legal career to establish the Ark Foundation, Ghana's first shelter for battered women. Tonight, I have the singular honor of welcoming Dr. Angela Dramna Abuaji to Titans and Trailblazers. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Madam, please tell us, where did you come from? Where were you born? What school did you go to? And why did you live a flourishing, let me read the words again, a flourishing legal career?
People.
Yeah, they use some big words on you. So
Big words.
I'm just replaying it back to you. Flourishing legal career. So where were you born? What primary school did you go to?
Wow.
Yes, so tell us, who is Madam Angela?
Well, okay, so thank you for having me, Prof.
Yes,
it's very
please.
nice to see you.
Yes, please.
I was born in 1965 here in Accra.
Yes, please.
We lived in Kokomlemle, even though my parents come from the eastern region, precisely Achime Buakwa.
Okay.
Mother from Asafuachim, my father from Chebi, just a few minutes away from
Chebi is very famous. That town is very famous for all sorts of reasons.
For all sorts of reasons, good and bad. So let's take it like that. Okay. You know, so not too far from each other. The last of 8 children on my mother's side.
Okay.
And my father has a total of 14 children.
Okay.
Big family. Wow. I went to Harrow International School, which is in Abeka, La Paz.
Okay.
We moved around a bit in Accra, though I told you I was born in Kokomlemle, yes. And then I went to Infantsman Girls.
That's where my mother went.
Oh,
pleased to meet
so
you.
Nice.
Very pleased to meet you.
Great,
Yes.
great. From 1 to 5. Okay. Yes, formative years. From there, I moved to Holy Child School.
That's where my wife went. Pleased to meet you
goodness.
again.
That's interesting. So you have a bit of me in your home. And from Holy Child for 2 years, then I went to, of course, the Faculty of Law, University of Ghana.
Okay.
And from there to Makola. Okay. Basically, then later on, much later, I went to Georgetown University.
Indeed.
To do my master's in law, 95. Indeed. And then later, much later, I pursued a theology degree, starting from MA to MTH and then to PhD. Okay. At Akrofi Crystalline Institute.
Okay.
Yes, so
So you know the Bible too?
Oh, I am a pastor,
You're
little
a
pastor in my church,
okay.
Yes, which is ICGC Liberty Temple. Hi,
no
all
way.
of you.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
I serve under my head pastor, Kojo Frimpong.
The famous Kojo Frimpong?
Yes.
He was in Achimota?
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he was in Achimota. I was in Achimota to so say hello to him for me.
I will.
Okay, Liberty Temple. Okay, all right. So, madam, tell us, I need to ask you, this gender justice thing, I mean, you could be a lawyer and stay the lawyer your whole life.
Yes.
What was the point of departure for you?
Well, I don't think it's a point of departure. It was just using my knowledge of the law to serve in a field in the NGO sector, helping directly women and children, and also pursuing policy advocacy, legislative advocacy, and all manner of things, using the law basically and the human rights that comes with the law that I had studied in school. And so it wasn't so much a point of departure as in deploying the knowledge and the skills I had gained from school and from practice. And I worked in the Attorney General's department as an attorney for the state for close to 10 years, and then resigned in 99.
Was Mrs. Heward Mills, was she there at the time?
Yes,
she was.
She was quite a number of people. Yes. So, and resigned in 1999 to start the Ark Foundation. And it was at the Attorney General's department, in the prosecutions department in Koforidua, where I started before I came to Accra, that I saw the reality of murders against women, homicide, violence against women. That sort of cemented for me what I had been, observing over a period of time as I was growing up. And it sort of helped me to make that decision to put what I have into helping women and children, even though I also admit that it is a calling for me.
Wouldn't that be heavy lifting? Because I hear you when you say it was almost like a natural progression, but doing some corporate work, making a few millions, is a little easier than building Ark Foundation, unless I'm missing something. Like,
no, you're not missing anything.
It's a lot of heavy lifting, isn't it?
It is heavy lifting, and I'm sure there are many people who would not like to do this job. It's traumatizing, if you like, and it's a lot of work that you do for almost next to nothing, unless you want to steal.
That's true.
Yes, and but it's very rewarding when you see people transformed from when they come seeking services to when they exit. Okay, the difference can be so heartwarming and so refreshing that you almost understand why God called you into a place like this. Yes, I could have earned loads of millions doing other stuff, which my family doesn't understand me sometimes about, but well.
But NGOs don't always succeed in Africa. There are funding challenges, there are human capital challenges. So people use NGOs as a conduit to something else. So it's like we are hanging on till a better proposition comes along. So what has underpinned the resilience of the Ark Foundation? What has made you stay the course, if you like, despite all the economic, social, and political turbulences?
Well, in the first place, I mean, I'm not at the at the end of my course in this life,
of course,
and anything else can happen. But I'm very pretty sure, even if I move on to anything else, it will still be around the core issues of vulnerability of women and children. So that one in any field, I'm sure, with my years of skill and engagement and so on, I would pretty do well with that. But the Ark is in my heart. One, not because I founded it, but because I've seen it grow. I have seen the changes and the as you said, whether it's political turbulence, changes, and all of that. We've stayed true to the cause because we are very strong on values. The values of authenticity, the values of sincerity and simplicity. Do the work. And let the reward come later. Let people hail you for do the work. You're confronting people who come with next to nothing. They are fearful. They're in a place that nobody believes them most of the times, or even if they are believed, people don't know what to do with them. And then you meet them and it's like, can I sleep? You can't sleep. A girl has been sexually abused by her father, probably carrying the baby of the father, and has been thrown out or rejected by the family. Where is she going?
Absolutely.
And those services are not available easily in our society. And that's where I felt truly pulled towards in terms of providing the services and so on. So we've stayed true to the cause. Do the work. Every day somebody will come up, something will come up, and somebody needs to respond. Do the work and let God do the rest.
When it comes to issues of domestic violence, there are a lot of cultural barriers in Africa, I think. There's this warped sense sometimes that family matters are family matters. You can't come and be, to use a colloquial phrase, come and put your mouth inside, and therefore, who are you to?
You know it.
How do you handle such craziness, if you like?
Yes, sometimes it can be crazy. You can have families coming after you because they think you are trying to help somebody and they don't know why the heck this person is married to this person, or sometimes there isn't even a marriage. And you're trying to help them get over abuse or open their eyes to their circumstances so they know what options to take. Indeed, there are lots of cultural barriers, when it comes to domestic violence. And it isn't sometimes so much because of the culture, but because of the interpretation that people have given to the culture.
Indeed.
Or the perceptions that have come alongside with it.
Indeed.
If people see women as second-class citizens,
Indeed.
that's how they treat them.
Indeed.
If you think that, you brought a wife into the home so that she can be at your beck and call, and if she doesn't please you, you can hit her, and society doesn't have anything to say, that's exactly what you're going to do. Something has to restrain you, whether it's the law or somebody who knows better, or society or whatever. But often society normalizes this kind of violence.
Indeed.
If a woman hurts a man, it's news. I'm not saying it's right, because sometimes you see men who have been abused and it's a sorry sight.
Indeed.
Very sorry sight, because we tell men you can't cry.
Indeed.
So it's very difficult.
Indeed.
But when you see the numbers of women in Africa, in fact, it's a global thing. And in Ghana, 1 out of every 3 adult women have suffered some form of violence.
Really?
Yes. And all the data
Those are dire statistics.
from 1999 all through to the last 2020, 2018 figures. 1 out of every 3, 27% to 30% of adult women. And you see the reality of it when you see an abuse case actually coming towards you. Then you say, this is not a joke. It's not a joke at all. And you need to work with the institutions and keep shouting at society, this is not right. It ain't right. You can't kill somebody's child on the whim of your whatever you feel, the power that you have over her, or what culture says about women. You can't do that. It's not right. And we are calling on the institutions to also understand it so they can work better at it than we have had.
Let me just pick on the example you gave about a father who's probably protected a daughter and whatever. So tomorrow I'm speaking in a church on the honor of fathers, and I'm coming from
Happy
Malachi.
Father's Day to all of you.
Absolutely. And fathers stand in positions of grave authority.
Absolutely.
We are prophets, we are priests, we are providers. It's such a hallowed office to stand in. So I find it most amazing that you are the predator when you should be the priest. It's like two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Exactly.
How does that even play out?
It plays out.
And we are very Christian in Ghana too. Some sort of try to marry.
Yes. And I keep saying it's not a Ghana problem alone. It cuts across the continent and globally. But I think it's just a very bad interpretation of that place and of honor that is given to fathers, which some people don't understand and abuse.
Indeed.
And society adds to it.
Indeed.
Somebody hears the word authority and all they think about is that I'm the boss. Not even the leader. What I say is what you do, and nobody has a question. And biblically that cannot be right.
Absolutely.
Because fathers have accountability.
Absolutely.
And fathers are called upon to love their children, and if they are husbands, to love their wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself. Nobody who is giving himself to another person in that kind of, I don't want to use the word submission, but in giving in that kind of sacrifice
and humble way,
exactly, would want to oppress them, demean them, insult them. Some of the things we see, it's harrowing.
Indeed.
Sometimes even when there isn't physical assault, the kind of humiliation that some fathers and husbands would take their partners through. And you see, some people may say, because some of the women are too loud and they are like this and like that. No. When there is dominance and there's abuse, it's always one person in domination.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
And it's so clear.
Indeed.
The power dynamic is there.
Indeed.
And all of that. The other person almost has no mouth.
Okay. Okay. So how does domestic violence affect economic output, economic advancement? Because I'm sure there's a link between stable home, stable family, stable, and what happens in the economy.
Exactly.
Can you sort of explain?
I mean, let me broaden it even beyond domestic violence to violence against women.
Indeed.
If you remember, I don't know whether you were in Ghana then, there was a period of time from the 90s crossing into the early 2000s where women were killed one after the other in Ghana.
Yes.
In the end, we counted about 34 women who had died in similar fashion around kind of the same areas in Ghana. Now, people don't realize that nightlife almost stopped in Accra because of those killings. It's the women who do the chofi and yam. It is them who cook the wache that goes in the morning. They go to the markets to feed their homes and everything. Women just stopped contributing. Yes, just because to be safe.
Yes.
People stop. Markets were dry at night, and it had an impact, direct impact on the economy of Greater Accra or Accra, and in the economy of homes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So unless you're opening your eyes, you don't see the cost. And indeed, I keep citing this ISA report, the Institute of Social and Statistical and Economic Research in Legon, that came out in 2018, that showed us that when it comes to the cost in terms of time lost at work and treatment and so on, we are hitting almost $200 million annually.
No way.
Yes. When Ghana, it comes to violence against women and girls alone in Ghana, see that amount of money. They did the research and came out with a report and publicized it. Then it showed the economic effects of tolerating this kind of violence and thinking, this is somebody's home, we don't really mind what happens there, and no, we must mind it. It has cost on children and children's lives. I know of children who want to commit suicide because they think the violence that is happening is because of them.
Wow.
Yes, on people's psychological lives, on mental health. It has cost in every aspect of our lives. People come to work and are not able to work because they have faced trauma in the past or they are facing current trauma. Wow. And we have to face it. It's a reality. But if we deal with it, it helps.
So in Africa, sorry to go back, we sometimes misuse culture to justify gender inequality. I don't know whether it's good or bad, but maybe it's also historical antecedents and the whole thing about I'm head of the clan. When you come, you don't really talk. You sort of just take instructions. So how do we lovingly challenge culture without alienating our famous African identity? If there's anything like that at all.
There is, of course. Everybody must have an identity, of one sort or the other, especially from where you come from and all. And I think culture can be beautiful in terms of its practice and its norms. And there are lots of things in our culture that help us not to demean each other.
Indeed.
Respect for elders,
Indeed.
How we treat children when they are born, but when they are growing, it's another matter sometimes.
Yes, please.
You talk about the community, how we raise a child, how we support each other. These are things that are great and we need to keep doing, because the more we lose it, the worse we become. We have lost some and we are not even replacing it with anything that is of any value. So we can use culture in very positive terms. Look at the way queen mothers are revered. Queens and queen mothers are revered. The only thing is that the queen mother or the queen is just that one woman. Which continues in modern politics with that token woman on the board or token woman in appointment, which we often talk about. So I would think that let's look inside our culture and take the beautiful aspects of it, relate it to the fact that in the past, if you hit your wife in certain places, you'll be called to account in the chief's palace. Indeed. So it isn't as though culture has always stood against. It is like I say, the interpretation of it for some, the practice of it for some people, and then those norms also and practices that are directly inimical to people's health, especially women and children, like continuing female genital mutilation, cultural servitude, trococy, widowhood practices that are cruel, witchcraft accusations. Those are aspects of our culture that have been made illegal, but still continue.
We have to take a quick break, but I want you to address this quickly before we go on break. It has become fashionable in the last decade or so to have diversity, gender inculcated in university programs and so on and so forth. Is this tokenism, or are we making real progress? Because it's almost as if, hey, what's the gender part? So it's almost as if everybody has some gender something going on somewhere. Have you noticed that trend? And is it good
yes,
or bad?
It's everywhere. For me, as long as we are focusing on what matters to us as a people, and we're saying these are the places where the gaps are between men and women, girls and boys. So we want to make it balanced. It's fine. Anything we do in our institutions, in our homes, to make sure that discrimination, the stereotyping, the marginalization that exists between boys and girls, men and women, whether in any space, political, social, cultural, whatever, institutional, we can work on it. That's perfectly well.
So you support the schools introducing gender everywhere? Like there's a gender program?
We should have done it long ago. But we must be clear what we are asking for. So we don't traverse into things that do not have things to do with us as a people. I see where you're going.
Yes. We'll take a short commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Titles and Trailblazers. Please stay tuned.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. With MNC Properties, property sales, rentals, and management is a walk in the park. We believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 to 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We offer flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs, plus litigation-free lands in vibrant and upscale communities that presents the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 0302 551 917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Welcome back to issues of culture, gender, and clarity on what we need as a people. My guest again is Dr. Angela Jomna-Boaje. Madam, you've trained a lot of people in this country in the space in which you work.
Yes.
So, if you want to invest in a young woman, what kind of leadership quality do you look for? Or what leadership quality would you build in a lady who must succeed 10, 15 years from now?
Wow. So, I walked into this studio with a little girl.
Yes.
Not so little anymore. Absolutely. She's almost 20.
Okay.
And that's what I've been doing for the last how many years, whether it's with my staffing or with direct training programs and capacity enhancement programs for young women. And basically, it's the willingness to learn. That's the first thing. Indeed. And the willingness to make a difference.
Indeed.
Okay? The willingness to make a difference. The willingness to learn. That's what I look out for in young people. Once that is there, then you know that certainly whatever capacity you are building in them will never be wasted.
Okay.
And thankfully, I have seen people that have come through our training programs, and even people I've worked with, young people over the years, transit into some amazing people in the different sectors in which they work.
Indeed.
And I'm very, very proud of them.
Indeed.
Yes.
So, given the work you do, what's the relevance, for instance, to the banking sector in Ghana? If you were called by a commercial bank today and told that we want to improve gender awareness across all levels of the bank, what kind of solution would you propose?
I'm happy you're saying that because I'm expecting more banks to call us, come and do some
work. Really?
Oh, yes. Wow. Banks and institutions. You know, sometimes when they do awards for our institutions, our corporate institutions, and they say they're doing so well, we are very happy.
Yes.
But I'm not sure whether they look at issues around sexual exploitation, harassment, abuse, violence, bullying that happens within our institutions.
And those are real challenges.
They are real challenges.
Trust me, they are real challenges.
They are real challenges. Look, I'm telling you, for example, the scandal that has to do with the National Service Secretariat, which we are all hearing about, the National Service Authority, which we are all hearing, it's not the only scandal.
No, it's not.
No,
we
have worked with organizations where national service personnel face constant sexual harassment and abuse.
Indeed.
Okay, so if we're going to dig further, we won't only be looking for the economic stuff. Me, the kind I'm looking for also is how we treat people that we work with.
Indeed.
So when it comes to abuse, harassment, sexual exploitation, violence, bullying in our institutions,
but the preventive work this time is not only national service, even married women are being preyed upon.
Yes, yes.
So it's not right. It's not even the
it's sad.
The children alone.
Prof, it is a sad situation. And these things exist in our institutions. It exists in our social institutions. It exists in our schools. It exists in our corporate institutions that have all these leadership training programs and so on and so forth. And so if you meet a corporate institution that is mindful of these things and is working hard to reverse such impacts or to work on them, it's different.
Indeed.
When you step into it, you feel the friendliness.
Yes, and
you feel the respect. Exactly.
You
feel the respect.
You do.
And you see that these people are doing excellent work. But when you step into an institution where people call each other whatever names, pinching somebody's bottom, asking them, where were they last night and who were they sleeping with, and things, you feel it the moment you step into an institution like that.
It's very irresponsible language. Like you wonder why you so coarse.
Exactly. And send such messages to you at midnight with pictures.
Wow.
Yes, cyber exploitation and sexual sextortion and all of these things are happening, live.
At 7 a.m. on Monday, I'm the guest of honor for a bank that's launching their new service standards. I think when I go, I'll tell the MD that has he considered the gender dimensions?
Absolutely.
If he hasn't, then I'll have him call you.
Please.
Then you can have a chat.
It's important.
So what kind of dashboards can you also create? Because I found by experience, I've been doing marketing, service, sales for nearly 30 years, and I found by experience that the training helps. But if you can put in some KPIs and dashboards so that every quarter or half year you can go and measure, like track, so have a baseline study and then do trackers over time.
So that's what the HR people do.
Okay.
If they really mean to attack a problem, or even if they want to prevent it, they put in place systems and structures, benchmarks by which they go back and say, how are we doing? We do some surveys and see how are people feeling in our offices and so on. And if they don't do that, and they have this one-off thing, then things just come out.
Indeed.
Then it's like, is this the same organization we are talking about? That these things have been happening here? We didn't know. That's because you're not looking closely enough. All you're interested in is that people are coming into work, you're paying them a salary, and people are unhappy. There was a woman we met in one of these training programs, and she told us when we were doing the survey part of the work that on Fridays she's happy.
Wow.
When it's Sunday evening, she has to pray with her husband.
There's
Thankfully, she has a very because
anxiety,
of the
like we are going back
to work
again
to face this person who constantly harasses her.
I know the feeling.
And she doesn't have a job to move on to immediately. Indeed. So she's just trying to
hold on.
Yes,
so the miracle occurs.
Exactly.
And she's out of the door.
Exactly.
Wow. This is harrowing because your mental health is so there's no psychological safety at work. You go and you are just exposed.
Exactly. By somebody who has made up their mind that as for him or her, and sometimes there are some hairs too in that, all they do is to hit at people, and make people's lives miserable.
But in spite of your ebullient attitude, haven't you felt like quitting several times? Because NGO work can be tough. I mean, forget Ark Foundation, like it can be really tough. So
yes.
When have you felt like quitting, and what has kept you going, madam?
Well, quitting this work, no.
Okay, not quitting the work itself.
Yes, I mean, because I find such fulfillment.
Passion.
Yes,
okay.
It's my passion and so on. But feeling frustrated at times, many times.
Okay.
And asking myself, but why do I continue? So I know it's not work I want to quit because of what I see,
but what
at
about
the end of it.
Emotional toll, hearing these harrowing
stories. Exactly.
Why is this still happening? Because I'm sure you've not heard one, you've heard a lot of stories.
Oh, yes, over how many years?
So how do you handle
Almost
the emotional
30 years.
toll and wanting to help and help and help?
Well, so first of all, I always say that God gives me a great team.
Yes.
I've had people work with me, most of them young people, and I just don't know where that commitment and zeal and passion to work and continue working comes from. I can only say it's a work of grace.
Indeed.
And so that's one part of it. You don't feel so alone because there are people who feel the way you feel and understand why you have a passion towards this. And they have similar passion. That's one. The other thing is the training that comes with this work. And I think that anybody who wants to do this must take that part seriously. People crash and leave. And there are people we started with who are no longer in this, working with women and children abuse and so on, because maybe they didn't take the training seriously enough. The training that helps you to de-roll, to be able to stand back, engage in a particular process and still be able to stand back. You don't always succeed, but when you feel yourself wilting, you can reach out for help to another colleague or, even to some of the people you work with, your team members and so on. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. Otherwise, you just sink.
But you have a God base as well.
So that one is my solid
the Bible
rock.
alone can energize you day by day.
The word of God.
Come on.
I say Jesus Christ is my hiding place.
That is it.
The rock of my salvation.
That is
I
it.
mean, if anything keeps me stable,
that is it.
It is Him.
It's the word. That
It
is
is
it.
His word.
That is it.
It's the fact that He can give me strength to go on another day, like when I don't feel like waking up at
Absolutely.
all, or I'm thinking about what next to do with this client and so on.
Absolutely.
And I reach out and I say, there are some of the cases they come, Prof. It's like this one, am I holding the leg or I'm holding the hand?
Is basa.
Or there is basa. Can you imagine?
Unless God.
Yes. Somebody comes in with 7 children or 4 children, and the person is not only abused, all the children have been abused.
Wow.
Yes.
Then you've seen some horror movies. My goodness. Wow.
Yes. There are people who have come, we've given them shelter.
Wow.
They can't sleep. There was one woman, the security had to sit by her door at night. Otherwise, she can't even shut her eyes. When she shuts her eyes, the images of the strangling that her husband was going to strangle keeps coming. She can't sleep.
Wow. This is something.
Oh, yeah.
And you must sort of walk this lady back from her trauma and sort of rehabilitate her and her family.
It's multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary, because everybody's case comes with a number of things that need to be done.
Absolutely.
The psychological part.
Indeed.
The pastoral part.
Indeed.
And we are all, in Ghana, everybody is religious, so there's nobody I've worked with who hasn't come from one place or the other, especially the church.
I agree.
The police part, sometimes the court part, if you should get there, the social welfare part, the economic part, the resettlement part, the school for children part. It's that, yes.
No, it's a lot of issues.
It is.
Rolled
And that
into
is
a big
why
ball.
if you don't work with all the institutions and the institutions are not really working well, and sometimes that's where my frustration comes from.
That's true. The
There
institution
are some
must support.
good people within our institutions, the police, the social services, they have passion just like I have. When you meet such people, you are most likely to succeed in what you're trying to do through the institutions. Because you need the police, you need the hospital, you need the psychologists, you need the courts, you need these. But if they are not trained and they are not sensitive, Prof, just yesterday, a woman who saw me because her husband had beaten her up, violated her, was trying to strangle her in a sense, went to the police, and the police is saying, well, your husband also came and said, you know, you did this.
No way.
I'm telling you, and it's, we hear it.
So
when they are trained, exactly, they are trained and they understand violence, they approach it differently.
Indeed.
But if they are not trained and they think, you know, we are just coming to, we don't want to waste our time. Yes, exactly. Then they will turn it into that you people fought, so then we'll charge the two of you. Or wait, I'm going to call him. Then we do marriage counseling. These things are still happening.
You know, their ministries of gender, women affairs are becoming quite popular in Africa.
Yes.
So if you had to give some free, non-paid advice regarding how to strengthen policy frameworks and institutional architecture for better managing these things, what would your proposals be?
Prof, our legislative and policy frameworks are perfect.
They're perfect, okay.
In Ghana, we pass amazing laws and policies.
That is it.
We dot the I's, we cross the T's. And I know it because I've been involved in a lot of these things when it comes to the sector.
That's right.
We try to do almost everything to the point where you can close your eyes, and if you know the thing, you know, when I do this, I have to do that. When I get here, I have to do that. But the implementation
is the challenge.
The enforcement is the challenge. For example, one of the institutions that we care so much about, the DOFSU. This is an institution, yes, it used to be Waju.
Yes.
We started working with, and look, there are police personnel who have worked there and have done amazingly well. And still, there are many of them who have that passion to work. But sometimes even vehicle to move is not there.
They don't have it.
Paper to
even print things.
You know, so many things are lacking. Especially when it comes to the ones in the districts and the ones in the communities and so on and so forth. There's a one-stop center at the police headquarters that is very helpful.
Indeed.
You know, but then you come into jurisdictional matters. So if the DOFSU here doesn't work well, and you go to DOFSU at the headquarters to say, look, your people are not doing well, they'll say, because of jurisdiction, go back to the same place. We'll just make sure they do the right thing. There are bottlenecks in the institutional systems that need to be tackled. When I heard the vice president had made chairperson of the police council, I said, hallelujah.
Amen.
Maybe this is one of the ways in which we can appeal to her. We need that DOFSU to become a directorate.
Indeed.
It needs to take on the nature of the NACOX.
That's right.
Yes.
And have proper institutional significance.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Proper authority, clout,
Resources.
and everything. Because look, they are taking care of all gender-based crimes in this country.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And the numbers are huge. If you go to their data, they get reports up to the thousands every year. At the end of the line, how many convictions? 10, 20, 15. So you can see between reports and convictions, many things happen.
Absolutely.
Some are cultural, some are lack of political will. All of those
Some
things
are big
are there.
men.
Yes, big men who interfere in the system.
Yes.
So DOFSU must be transformed. If we mean to do something with the human resource we have, we can't joke with the numbers. We can't joke with the numbers.
So DOFSU is a serious issue.
It's a serious advocacy issue for us.
And repositioned.
It must be upgraded, repositioned, capacitized. And look, they may say, this is about money. It's not about money. It's about taking steps to put it where it needs to be. Other organizations would help it. And not only that, they would have enough clout to be able to engage with other organizations to build themselves up, like NACOC has done.
Yes.
NIB.
Yes.
Name them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so important what you say, because a nation that safeguards its youth, especially female youth, really knows what it's doing.
Absolutely.
But if you neglect them, it can have disastrous consequences.
It can have disastrous consequences. And what a police officer would say to the young people and so on will be more significant than if I say it.
That's true.
Because that person is coming also with authority of state back end, you know.
That's
so
true.
we need a DOFSU that's more effective. And it will help most of our work, and we can sleep better.
There's another category of female youth that popped up a couple of weeks ago. I was a judge on TV3's, they have some program, Top in 10. and they had to shoot a documentary on vulnerable ladies. Apparently, these ones who sleep under bridges or whatever, they are slept with regularly.
Oh, yes.
Just so that they can survive.
Yes. That's another
What
area
kind
of gender-based violence.
Is this?
Yes.
I hear they are totally vulnerable.
Yes, totally vulnerable.
They have no prayer.
No, because on the street, there are people, the young men especially, who have bought spaces. So it's like I'm the landlord of this space. And if you
see
some
these
place
ones in this American series, the famous one with vulnerable people. You think it happens only in abroad?
No.
Ghana too, they are.
Oh no, but now that's what it is.
Like
in our
kingpins.
market areas, in our transport.
There are zones.
Yes, there are zones, and the space is where I can let you in, and if you don't have the money, then it's sex.
You pay me with sex.
As for gender-based violence in Ghana, look, Galamsey by itself has brought up a whole new aspect of it, with the trafficking and the sexual exploitation of women in those areas and those who are going to. That's another matter. When you come to the streets and sexual violence and gender, that's another matter altogether. When you come to our homes, that's another matter.
So the problem is categorized in different ways.
It's categorized, and even now, cyber.
Yeah. That's also very pernicious.
So you see, if you don't take it seriously, you retrogress so badly.
Because the push is hard.
Exactly.
The vices are multiplying.
They are multiplying.
If you don't have a concerted pushback,
that's it.
It will overrun you.
You have mentioned the word concerted.
Yes.
This is something not one institution can tackle alone.
No.
In other jurisdictions that work well in these matters, there's a coordinated approach where every institution that has something to do with handling, addressing, prosecuting, programming for gender work together at national level, regional level, district levels, and all of these, whether it's social welfare, SHRAJ, Attorney General's office, the police, clinics, hospitals, psychiatrists. There is a coordinated approach. So you can even do case tracking and referral through the systems much easier.
Of course.
If I come to you and you're going to help me, you have to tell your story. Then you come to the Ark, you tell your story. When you go to police, you go and tell the same story. You get to court, you are telling them. By the time you finish, you are more broken than you came.
Indeed.
So those coordinated approaches, the concerted, is a better approach. And in the serious places, for example, the Attorney General's department will be the main coordinator because it can whip everybody else in line, or the SHRAJ, the ombudsman, or something like that, so that there is authority behind it. Here, it's the Ministry of Gender under the Domestic Violence Secretariat, but I tell you, it doesn't have much clout.
So there's much more that needs to be done.
Too much more.
On that concerted note, Dr. Angela, but by the way, so you are 60, but you look like 30.
Thank you.
So if God gives you another 30 years, madam, that foundation will still be there, correct?
Oh, my prayer is that it will live after me for as long as it can, until Christ comes.
Okay. On that return of Christ, I want to thank you very much for coming.
Thank you
God
very
bless and
much.
Keep you. We'll have you again very soon.
Thank you very much, Prof.
People, this is our 20th episode, and we had to bring a gender guru. Trash has acquitted herself well. Catch us again on the next episode of Titans and Trailblazers. Bye for now.
Titans and Trailblazers is brought to you by the MNC Group.
Metro TV presents the Jollof Festival. Get ready for non-stop entertainment, vibrant vendor booths, and yes, free food for everyone. We're calling on all vendors, cooks, and food lovers from every corner in Accra to Metro TV. Step into the spotlight for a blazing friendly Jollof Showdown. 5 embassies, 5 flavors, 1 crown. Who takes the Jollof crown?
Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, and Sierra Leone representing. All you need to do is to make your way to the premises of Metro TV, Dr. Isaac Street, Northridge, Accra on Saturday, 20th December 2025 for free jollof. It is totally free and open to the public. Guys, you don't want to miss out on the best jollof of the day. The Jollof Festival. Don't miss the heat.
Bronye, Katos Agri Limited, bro, the more de, the more ham, na mwatimi dinu anijimu, ewa ufie, ene unyumem, ewa nkran ha, Kumase, Cape Coast, ene takrade, yawa packages a hudu wama bronye, me dofupa package no, ye mau akuko broiler baako, layer baako, inkosia kreti mienu, Nyama chicken spices akahu. Ninyina eye 450 Ghana cedis per. Me dofupa. Emo deye. Anasa open akesie mu so a ye wo akoko bolobo package ne ma ho. Ye no, ye ma nkoko broilers mienu.